Okay, look, yeah. Okay, so we went ahead and calculated the rest of the slopes, and if my calculations are correct, and who could ever suspect that they wouldn't be, we get these, okay? And then we go ahead and label the segments between the graphs, okay? Now this isn't a curved graph, the actual graph would be curved, okay? But we're just doing average slopes, okay? And we notice, as you pointed out, well, they're all negative. Well, you know, the graph is always going downhill. If you get longer, your period decreases. If you get shorter, period increases. And you understand why, because you just counted them. Okay? Not the period, the frequency. See, got that word there. I got to get rid of that word so I don't see it, so I don't say it. Okay, again, as we get longer, the frequency decreases, right? As we get longer, it feels like it's slower, okay? And that's an indication that the number of cycles we count in any given time is getting less. Okay, so we have this, right? So we then get this if we label these slopes of these fundamental triangles that approximate this curve, okay? At least these line segments approximate the curve pretty closely, if they're correct, okay? Well, what's happening, what should happen to the slopes? Well, if the graph is curving like this, then the magnitude of the slope should be decreasing, because it's getting closer and closer to level where the slopes would be zero, right? Well, of course, with the negatives, it confuses things a little bit, but clearly 0.75 is less than 0.96, right? But is 1.3 less than 0.75? The trend of these things is a little bit inconsistent. Okay, the slopes appear to be decreasing in magnitude, and they should be, but all of a sudden you got one that doesn't, right? Why is that? Well, it comes down to this. We only counted that thing for this one for 5 seconds. That corresponds to this data point. There's a lot of uncertainty when you're only counting something for 5 seconds, or when you're only getting a count of 9 or 10, okay? If the count had really been different by even half a count, that would affect both this slope and this one, okay? So what we're seeing is evidence of uncertainty, okay? The points are doing this, and they're doing this, and then that kind of does this, and then it does this, and then it does this, okay? So if the points were graphed carefully on a well-chosen set of axes, the graph might look something like this. It still indicates that you have this kind of curvature. It's just that you've got some uncertainty in counting this, and you trace that back to the uncertainty you get when you only count a short period of time, okay? So whether you totally understand that, there's uncertainty involved. Now, let's get back to the model.